this is April Joy. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the dynamics of a womanizer and how to rid yourself of the shenanigans. The definition of a womanizer is a man who engages in numerous sexual acts with women. Now, this is true. However, I feel like that's not really the definition in its entirety because a womanizer can use women for more than just sex. He can also use them for personal gain in many areas of his life. So in other words, womanizer is basically a man that morphs into a clown right before your eyeballs. Now, the complex thing about a womanizer is the fact that it's really hard to distinguish whether he's a good man or not because a womanizer is basically a fuckboy in sheep's clothing. He knows exactly what role he needs to play in order to achieve his goals. He's going to come into your life with the objective of pretty much sweeping you off your feet. And he's going to do everything in his power to mimic the good qualities of a good man in order to captivate you. For instance, he's going to appear to be very charming. He's going to be very attentive to your needs. He's going to shower you with all these compliments. He's pretty much filling you out, like he's grooming you to put you in a position to start asking you for stuff. So the wickedly evil thing about a womanizer is the fact that they know that women naturally possess, by nature, we possess this nurturing spirit. So if you look up the word nurture, in the dictionary, it basically says to care for and encourage the development of. Now that makes perfectly good sense because womanizers are basically men who want your contribution to their development. And they're basically going to trick you, into giving it to them simply because they know if they appear to you in their real form of the bum that they really are, you wouldn't be willing to make that contribution. Now, the best target for a womanizer is basically women who are vulnerable, basically any woman that pretty much fits into the description of a pick-me type. And when womanizers see those type of women, it's basically like they hit the jackpot. Because those are the type of women, that it's easy to harness in and pretty much mold them into their liking. Now, I'm not sitting here playing this small violin for women across the world and saying we need to bash men and blah, 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 blah. What I'm really saying is y'all got to start taking accountability and understand that people do what you allow them to do. If you keep getting bamboozled, well, maybe it's time for a new strategy. Maybe it's time to implement a little bit more self-love into the equation. Sorry about it. If you don't do that, you're just going to basically self-destruct. Here are a few things that you need to know about a womanizer and let it sink in and accept the fact that it's just the way it is. A womanizer rotates multiple women. I say that because he knows exactly what role each woman plays in his life. He knows that, Ashley gonna cook for me. He knows that Brittany gonna put some stuff in my name if I ask her. He knows that he can sleep with Jessica anytime he wants. He knows that Bertha is head over heels for him, and pretty much any time that he needs a couch to sleep on, she's gonna have an open door for him. That's the kind of man that he is. He just takes bits and pieces from every different chick that he engages with. What this means is that he's always recruiting. So if you're out with the guy who you think is a womanizer, you notice that he's like really friendly, he's flirty, he has a lot of female friends. Those are red flags because womanizers love being surrounded by women. It validates them. So they're always recruiting and they're always looking, even if you're present. There's nothing long-term about a womanizer. Everything is short-term because he comes, he conquers, and he dips. They get what they want and they be on out. So you have to be aware of how your time is being spent. And if it's gradually getting shorter and shorter and shorter, it's because his work is almost done with you. And Molly is down the street with a little bit more potential and she's probably more vulnerable than you are and he's about to dip. Now, this is the most important one of all that you must understand. Womanizers do not love women. I don't give a damn how much you think that he's telling you he loves you and he likes you. He doesn't. Womanizers only love the idea of the tasks that you can perform for them. They love the idea that they can use you as a vehicle to get what they need done. So they don't love you. They love what you can do. And womanizers don't always come in the form of bums. They come in all shapes, and sizes. Some of them come in the form of a very successful man, except they just like filling a void. Probably have mommy issues. I don't know. But, it could be from anybody. That's the scary part about it. We just have to be more aware of the energy that we are giving off. It's so easy to detect when a person is, insecure, when they're not confident, when they have no self-esteem. And for a womanizer, that radar is going to go do straight to you. And guess what? You are the lucky winner. You get front row seats to his shenanigans. And every clown will not perform unless there's somebody in the audience. So while you're sitting in that seat, and while you continue to sit in that seat, there's going to be another prize for you. Look under that seat. I want you to reach under that seat, and there's a box, especially for you. Open that box, and there's a red nose inside that box. I want you to put that on and continue to watch that circus. And guess what? You're going to become a clown as well. You're a clown too for sitting there allowing that. And you have to basically put that analogy next to what's going on in your world and see how it's like corresponding with each other. Because anything that you allow is going to continue to happen to you. And I don't understand how, I do understand. I'm not going to say I don't understand because I do. But after a certain age, it's time to level up and stop trying to analyze so hard and put the pieces together. Why does this keep happening? Because you allow it. Stop allowing clowns to entertain you. You know what I'm saying? Stop being afraid of losing someone. The moment that you have no fear of somebody eliminating themselves from your life is when you'll be the happiest, because anything at any moment can go down and you're still standing strong. And what I will say, since I just said that, perfect example. There are a lot of women who have been ghosted by a womanizer and doesn't even know to this day that that was his intention. There are men out there who will come around you and see that you bossed up. Like, oh, wow, she doing this, she doing that. Seeing that you're not easily persuaded by the shenanigans, and they know they can't try you, so they ghost you. They gracefully bow on out because they know that their brokenness isn't going to apply in your world. So, or should I say brokenness? I'm not going to call nobody broke. Their brokenness cannot be projected onto you, so they're going to ghost you. And it's a lot of women right now who are just like, what's wrong with me? Why is he left me? No, he knew he couldn't finesse you, so he dipped on out. And that's probably the best thing that'll ever happen for you. I get it, Tyrone might slip through the cracks. It's up to us, seal them cracks with cement and dive into our purpose, dive into, what makes us happy to distract us from the bullshit. I feel it's just really important to be so engulfed with what you're doing that another human being can't even play with you like that, And for the men watching this who are like, oh, I'm not a womanizer. Just because you're not, doing the damage doesn't mean you're not a part of the problem. Simply because you watch your homeboys play with women and you sit there and laugh behind the scenes, and then want to have the nerve to get mad when you actually like a girl and she's guarded. She doesn't want to show you her nurturing side because she's afraid of being taken advantage of. So blame your male counterparts. Blame your bald-headed daddy who finesse your mom and your siblings' mom and ruin their life, and it trickle down to you when nobody ever identified the problem. We write off the disrespect to women as, oh, it's just me and that's how we are. We're very dismissive on how dysfunctional that stuff really is. It's not okay to be mad when somebody play your mama or your sister, but when you go out into the real world, you're terrorizing women. You're destroying people's souls. But you want somebody to respect your sister, your unborn child, and your auntie and them. No. Men need to take accountability too and boss up. Stop looking at women as gold mines to get your goals completed. So the way to identify a womanizer, like I said, it's not an easy thing because they possess many qualities of what a good man has. All I can do is just really tell you what works for me. The way that I notice if a man is a womanizer or not is you have to pay attention to people's demeanor. And when somebody seems to like overcompensate, there's always, a motive behind that. For instance, like I said, the good qualities of a man are going to be a man who is, charming, attentive, and he compliments you. So that's a good man, right? So how you distinguish that from a womanizer is when he overcompensates. They're doing that because the objective is to pretty much convince you that they're a good man. So it's kind of like watching a play, right? And when you see a bad actor, what makes them a bad actor is if they overplay their role. If they're over dramatic, over the top. It's like, it's not convincing because you're trying so hard to convince me, and that alone just kills everything, right? So think of it like that when you're dealing with men, and how to like weed out the real versus the fake. If you want to date with somebody and they're telling you that you're gorgeous, and it's only been 4 minutes into the date and they said it 3 times, it's like, damn, like you're really trying to pump my head up for some type of motive you got going on. They're trying to convince you too hard. Overcompensation. That is a number one red flag when it comes to a womanizer, because they're trying everything they can do in their power to convince you of their role. To sum it all up, just make sure that you're being alert and look for the signs. And I'm not saying that you gotta gauge everybody and be ruthless and a savage, but just don't be easily convinced. Because the things that they show you in the beginning that you ignore are going to be the reason why you leave in the end. So make sure you're not ignoring those red flags. Make sure that you're staying alert. Make sure you're looking deeper than the surface. And from there, you got it. I love it.